Morning, everyone.
Morning, Norma.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you. It's Friday.
It is. It's great news. Although Colin's got a busy weekend, which I'm sure he's going to allude to it at some point during this call. So Colin, I'm going to hand over to you. You're going to talk about the new folders features and any other updates. So yeah, hand over to you, Colin.
Absolutely. Thank you, Angus. So yeah, you've probably seen the message if you've logged into Skore recently that we are migrating the infrastructure to a new infrastructure this weekend. So we require some downtime just to migrate the database from one database to another. So we are migrating to a serverless infrastructure. So I'm quite excited about that, just in terms of performance on the one hand, and on the security aspect. Also, serverless brings a whole new level into security, because just servers can't really be accessed anymore. They are just called when they need it and then disposed of when they are not needed anymore. So even if someone would manage to enter and do something malware into a server, the lifetime of server is so short that it doesn't really affect anyone. So that's crazy now, the technology. So today's topic, unrelated, not technology, not infrastructure. So we've announced recently folders, so in Skore, so the way to organize workspaces. So we had a lot of people telling us, giving us feedback that some of their workspaces get like a bit out of control with loads and loads of processes, and it was quite hard to see who belongs to what and what was it. So we've implemented folders so that you have a nice way to put your processes in a folder like you would do on your desktop when you just manage your files. So here I'm at the home. So processes, for those who haven't used the folders, everything is at the home by default. Home equals not in a folder. And I have a couple of processes.
Can I just ask you, this is currently in beta, isn't it? So it's
no. It's available in the management plan. So
right.
all the workspaces that are on management have this feature now.
Okay, I just wanted to establish who would have seen it and who won't.
Yeah, we already did that earlier this week. We sent an email. When was it? On Tuesday, I think. Yeah, so everything is at the home by default, and then what I can do is I can assign my process. So I'm going to go here to finance, where I have put all my finance process. I have marketing, I have HR. So here I've created by organizational functions. But you may have different needs. It may be per project, or it may be for a different categorization. You may also need to trial and error. What's the best structure for your organization? If you do processes that are folders that are too granular, too precise, you may also spend more time like browsing the folders than actually finding your content. So yeah, it's like everything I'm sure you experienced when you're naming folders on your computer. Sometimes you just need to rename the folder or change it because it doesn't suit the needs anymore. So here we created by functions, but I've already seen some other users using that per project phase, or I can't remember exactly their context. The fun thing inside a folder is I can still pin process. So we have this mechanic of being able to pin a process to the top, so that it stays at the top, and then the list below is sorted by the last accessed, the last updated. I can do that inside the folder as well. So here I have my finance portal and my budget process in the finance directory, finance folder. So if I pin my process to the top of the list, it will do the same. So this process will stick at the top. And what I've done here in this demo material is that I've created under a couple of functions, they have their own portal. So at the home, I have a main process portal, but in each function, or almost each function, I have a marketing portal, and then I have all the relevant processes below that. So this could be a nice way. Here again, I can pin this process, the operations portal, a nice way to direct your users. So keep your folders simple with the right level of granularity, so that an end user knows where to click, and then you can pin a process to the top so it sticks at the top of the list. And you would think that users will go directly to this one, operations portal, let's click on that and then see what's going on, unless they know which processes they want to look at directly. So this is the folders. This seems to have been adopted quite heavily. So I've emailed specifically the people requesting the feature in the last couple of months, and they all started using it. So I believe it answered the need, so that's great. But the question that came up very quickly is that we already had the tags in Skore, and a number of people were actually using the little tags at the top to simulate folders. So they had also to reassess and rethink the use of the tags. So what's the difference between a tag and a folder? So a folder is really a folder where you put your process in. So your process belongs to a folder, and it doesn't belong to two folders at a time. It's really one process, one folder. So that's why it works quite well with functional area or different projects or different project phases for this customer. The tags are more properties of a process, and a process may have different properties. So here I've created a tags under review or review that is really, okay, if I want to filter by process that require a review, I can just click and it will filter my list on the process that needs review. Or let's say I'm doing a big project called AM1 who impacts a number of processes, and I want to flag them or to tag them, as we call it. I can also create a tag per scope, so I can add, okay, this process of product review is also part of my project AM1. So if I okay, so now this, and then I have another process in another folder, like the technical product development is also part of AM1. So I can go and tag these processes. So this allows me to give a tag or give an additional property to my folder. And yeah, so think about tags like properties. They can be short-lived, they can be longer-lived, they can be used for processes that are under review, so it may give an additional information to the users. Or we could say, we could do additional tags. I make them up, but for example, some companies, they have some end-to-end process, and then they have like what they call the functional processes, and then they have more instructions level of process. So all mapped in Skore. So this is something we could do here as well. We could say, this is an end-to-end process. So that means basically, depending on the language in your organization, but that means it's a fairly high level process that may span across a lot of teams and a lot of functions, and really go from one idea to the launch of the product. Then you may have other processes that are more at the functional or the organization level process, or call it a standard operating procedure or ways of working, depending on how your organization say. So let's say we have ways of working. That's my experience. So we had a way of working. So if an end-to-end was really high level, the ways of working were usually a bit more tangible for a day-to-day operation. So campaign deployment is a way of working. And let's say we have another process, just I will tag this one for the sake of the example, that is an instructions or SOP, or let's say instruction. Again, adapt that to your organization, but that may be different levels of details for different organizations. So the tag work very well for that. And now that we have the folder, they don't get confused between folders and ways of working. So again, as they are tags, I can just apply them. So let's say technical training is actually a way of working. So now it's created, I can just search for it. It's a way of working. Technical product development is a way of working as well. And you see the idea. So you have the folder to categorize your processes in buckets, and the tags to give them additional attributes that may be relevant for your organization or your project, or the scope, or if they are under review. Or you could imagine having as well the next review date as a tag. Let's say, just showing the example, next review Q2, Q3 2021. Could use, I don't know, really depending on the context. but why not? You know, why not having the next review date as part of tags here? So what we are hoping there is two things. First is to make it easy to navigate your process, your workspace and process, and find the relevant content. And second is leverage the tags as they should be initially, is to give additional properties to a given process so they can be easily filtered by a given tag.
Do you need to refresh for those tags to appear?
Yeah, I just realized as I was demoing that it doesn't seem to add the tag at the top. So I will just go to image and files for now and come back here and it will fetch the list again.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm writing that on a little to-do to refresh when a new tag is created as part of a process, we should see the tags appearing. So some of the tags appear grayed out because they are not, basically the tags is not assigned in my list here. So that means, all right, don't bother trying to filter by any tag because they're not there. So only the tags that are used will be highlighted at the top. Refresh tag list, I'm just writing that. So these demos are good for having more ideas, creating myself work.
Will you show us, Colin, how to create a folder?
Yes, so let's go. Now I showed you how it works. Let's go in the little details. So in the admin, I have a new, I have next to the tags, I have a new tab called folders. And here I can create new folders. So let's say here we have nothing for sales. So I'm creating a new sales folder. I'm going back here and I see my sales folder. And then let's say the CRM process belongs to the sales guy. So I will click on the menu, the card menu here, and I have again a new menu called folder. And here I can just select which folder I want to assign this process to. So sales, now it's in sales. Conveniently, you can also just create a folder from here. So if you want, you can just create folders directly from this interface if you realize, all right, the folders you wanted to is not existing. So down, again, a little refresh backlog, but if I'm going to sales now, we'll see my process. So fairly standard in the way Skore works. I can show you a sort of an additional feature. Let's say operations works for you, but you want a subfolder. So we can do that. We can create subfolders. Again, find the right level of granularity for your relevant context. But I can create subfolders. Let's say we have a lot of processes around quality improvements or quality. So I will create a new folder directly here. So the trick to create a subfolder is to first type the name of the main, the top level folders I want. So it's operations, and then I put a /. So operations / quality. Okay. So now it's in there, operations quality. I'm selecting, done. So now I have a subfolder operations quality. So the trick is that because the folder is named operations / quality, it just recognizes as a subfolder of operations. And now my perform audit is in my what looks like a subfolder. Does that make sense? So I'm just tricking the system by showing it to you again, operations / quality. So I'm creating my subfolders just by naming the top and the second one. And the magic is that it actually works as many levels as I want, quality, and then, I don't know, ISO 1401. Done. So now I will have a subfolder. So again, I'm not recommending having folders that are too granular because it will make your life more complicated than it should be, but it really depends on the context. A functional directory may be the most straightforward. Depending on what you do, it may not be relevant at all. Any questions?
I have a question. So can any editor create folders in the workspace, or is it just the admin?
Yes, any editor can create folders, yes.
And with deleting folders, only the admin person can?
Yes, indeed. you're right. The deleting folders, because it's done in the admin part here, only the admin can do. So if you delete a folder, all the processes that are in this folder will go back to the home folder. Okay, so deleting a folder does not delete the processes that are in it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, I will add that to the documentation. I think it's quite important.
And Tandy, when we next speak, I'll help you do this together with you if you like for your workspaces.
Sure, thanks, Angus.
Yeah. Any other questions? Great. Okay, so maybe we can stop the recording there, and then I'm open to answer any.
Colin, can I just clarify?
James,
You're
please.
saying that anybody who is an administrator or an editor can create a folder.
Yeah.
But only admin can delete the folder. Is that right? Or
Yeah, that's true. In the current interface, it's correct. Yes.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, well, Colin, that was really straightforward and you described it brilliantly. So I'll stop recording now and then we'll open up for any other discussions that people would like to have.